go. Alrighty. So I'd like to welcome you to this Monday night for anyone that's watching us live on the social platform that is Facebook or anywhere else in the world. Or if you're joining us on Zoom, like Amy and a couple of others, then yeah, thanks for being here tonight. I'm lucky enough to capture this beautiful soul, Lari Hilzinger, and partner in crime, Allan, who's busy, spreading the energy, and I guess it's what you do as busy parents. But Lari's in the Gold Coast, and first and foremost, just like to say thanks for being here.
Oh, thanks, Rory. Thanks for having us on. I think it's awesome what you're doing in this community as well. And on behalf of both Al and I, who, yeah, he's actually on another call at the moment, busy. It seems to be a busy time of night.
Yep.
Yeah, it's really kind of you to welcome us along.
No, it's epic. And just sharing with, a bit of the reason why I got Lari on board. And this is, we'll unpack her story in a second, but, there's people with this beautiful integrity and just like a beautiful soul, beautiful stories that the deepest desire is kind of to help people and impact people and empower people. And I guess, because you're doing that and because you guys are doing it in such an empowering way, often the light doesn't get shined on you because it's not about that, right? But I think that's something that, I really want to do with these Zooms and these webinars is to find people like yourselves and really unpack your story because, obviously we're in a world of networked enterprises and shared economies and circular economies. And, in the past it hasn't been done well, but there's people like yourself and so many other beautiful souls that are doing it with the utmost integrity and really, paying it all forward. So let's start there, Lari. Let's start with your story, right? So let's start with your background. Where did Lari come from? How did you end up, what's the foundation for you getting to where you are now?
Oh, in network marketing. Oh, well, that's a funny story, but I never actually imagined I'd be involved in network marketing. Actually, after my first degree, and I really struggled to find work. So I did 4 years in public relations and Japanese, and I realized that it's really hard to get a job straight out of university. And so I did some direct sales kind of things at the time, and my father said, run. And, at the time I sort of was under his watch. So, I went along with that and moved to Japan. And we actually, both Allan and I lived in Japan for some time. I was over there for 10 years and I worked in the corporate world in Japan in public relations and human resources. And, I worked my way up the corporate ladder, so to speak, and it wasn't any better at the top than it was anywhere else. And especially in Japan, there's really hard work hours and not a lot of time if you want to have a family. And it was unfortunate at the time. Probably looking back, it's one of the blessings. However, our son passed away at birth. And I realized that I didn't want to have children and effectively, keep them in childcare. I wanted to grow them up myself. So I started looking for a better option. And I thought, you know what, teachers, great holidays. That's what I need to do. I don't have to do another 2 years to get a teaching degree. So I did that and went to school. And, I was fortunate enough to land an amazing, probably one of the best teaching jobs because I actually got to teach Australian students in Japanese. I did business, so sports and things like that all in Japanese. So it was a great job. It just was a lot of work and working for a system which I wasn't always 100% behind, and I couldn't actually impact that much. So it was actually just by chance that Allan and I, in our part-time, had a bit of an eBay store going and we're making some decent money. Actually, we turned over about $500,000 a year in that store.
Oh, just a little bit.
Yeah, a bit. It was doing really well, but we needed it because, we were working. However, we had tried to invest in property and failed drastically. We had a lot of expenses moving back to Australia, and it cost us quite a lot with our son passing away as well, the whole situation and the burial in Japan and things like that, which we never even considered you'd need insurance for. So we kind of got ourselves in a lot of debt. So we're looking for other ways to make income on the side, and perhaps, once we did pay off that income, so we're doing pretty well and we're on the right track, then we could actually look at, I'd retire and just work that business and have more time with the kids, really, because that's what I ultimately wanted. And I remember the December before we started Isogenics, actually walking out to the garage, and it was towards the end of the school year, so I was really hanging out for the holidays. However, it was like 2 a.m. in the morning. I just finished lesson planning, and I'm thinking, I can't physically wrap all this stuff and send it off right now. Like, we had like $100,000 of stock sitting in our garage, right? And it's pouring down rain, and I had to get out there to get the stuff to then take it inside, wrap it all up. And I'm thinking, I'm not even going to sleep tonight, and I'm meant to be back at school tomorrow morning. And seriously, it was just this one step that I was like, I just can't keep going. Like, I just can't keep doing this. And, you know, there's got to be a better way, was actually my thoughts. And ironically, the following month, just as a health kick, we got involved in, you know, with the amazing products that we have. And I was purely after the wellness aspect of it and losing a few kilos, and I was absolutely shocked. And actually for us, it was really organic starting the business. I wasn't interested in it at first, but I wanted people around me to feel as good as what I felt. So I just said to them, look, you know, it may or may not be for you, but it has seriously revolutionized my life. I feel amazing. And I realized it wasn't about losing weight. It was actually about that feeling. Just try the product. If you don't like it, man, I'll come to your house, pack it up and send it back for you, because you can end up eating for free. Please just do it, because I know if you get anything like I get out of it, then it's going to help you. And that was actually how we started the business. Well,
let's stop there for a sec, because I think this is paramount. You know what I mean? Like, so many people have this beautiful story in their life, and I know for me, mine is similar but different. You know, there were these pain points. There were these points of like, oh shit, there's got to be a better way. Or there was a pain point of like, man, like, there's got to be a way that I can do this with more time. And the opportunity at the time might have been eBay. And it's like, yeah, we can turn over $500,000 doing this. It requires a lot of work still to do the stock and so on and so forth. And I think, you know, like, especially being over here in Bali, and you can probably relate in your own story, and also seeing people over the last 5, maybe 10 years, but there's just so many things available to us these days. And sometimes the simple things often get overlooked because there's something in our mind that just wants to make it more complex, right? And like you said, when you got involved in this community, it was like, initially it's just like, I just want to, like, I know intermittent fasting works, or maybe you didn't know at the time. I don't know if you'd seen some results around you or whatever it was, but it was like,
not really, no. I did. I saw one set of results and said, maybe I should try one of these crazy things, and didn't really think much about it. Yeah. And I think my words were exactly that, one of these crazy things.
Yeah. And like, how many crazy things have we done just by leaning into stuff that, like, leaning into the unknown, you know, and it's been like, whatever. Like, that's how I'm here. That's how you're here. Right. And because the thing is like, I guess the thing that goes on in our mind, we're in those points of desperation. It's 2 a.m. at night, it's pissing down with rain. You got all this stock in the garage. It's like, I got here with the same level of thinking that, you know, created these problems. And it's like, so if I need to change this, like, do I have to change what I'm thinking? Do I have to, like, maybe try something else? Do I have to lean into something else? And it's like, most of us are too scared to do that, right? And we often see things on face value and we don't lean in, right? And this is such a beautiful example, because you kind of just leaned in, did it for your health, did it, you know, purely for yourself, felt amazing. And like we do with anything, we're like, man, this made me feel this good. It's like, just do it. Like, I'll come and pack it up if it doesn't work, but just do it for you. Like, that was the intention. And I think the influence that you have on your proximity is kind of what this shared economy, this networked enterprise is all about, because, you know, the intention, and I think this is the reason, and we'll go to your success a little bit later, but that initial intention is the reason why I think you guys are just so abundantly successful and able to help other people, because you kept that intention along the entire journey, right?
Yeah. Look, it has been, actually. You know, we've enrolled quite a few people, and you see different kind of situations eventuate, but the ones that we've actually, you know, it's all about your intention for that person. And when you're talking to anyone in this business as well, it's always about the intention that you hold for that person.
Yeah. And let's carry on from there, because you obviously helped yourself, you helped Allan. What type of health results did you have in that, like, first 30 days, that first, like, 3 or 4 months? What did you notice were, like, the big, like, holy crap?
Yeah, look, I was actually a really healthy eater prior to doing the program. Allan was when he was at home, and apparently at work there was a vending machine that may as well have had his name written on it, but I didn't know about that vending machine. So, he didn't do a lot of movements, ironically. So he was the CEO of Gold Coast Basketball.
Yeah.
And ironically didn't do a lot of movement himself because he was always organising everybody else, and drinking a lot of coffee and a lot of snacks from the vending machine. So when we did the program, Al and I are actually quite competitive. It's fun, keeps us going. And, he will tell you that he lost 8 kilos and I lost 7, but my memory was that I'd lost 8 and he lost 7 in the first 30 days. But actually, it wasn't about the kilos. So actually, Allan, in the first couple of days, I don't know what it is with guys, but they seem to, some guys click faster than a lot of other people. And within a couple of days, he's like, man, I feel good. And I'm like, oh no, this is terrible. I'm really not enjoying this, but okay, I said I'd do it. So I'm also a bit stubborn like that, Rory. I stick to things when I say I'll do it. So I was like, you know what, I will do this. And when it doesn't work, I'll be sending it back, was pretty much my idea. And look, there wasn't a lot of proof around me either that it worked. I just saw simply one before and after photo, and I didn't even know the woman, but I was like, I'm just going to give it a go. It's a crazy thing, but I'm going to give it a go, right? So that was really, it was just the motivation to firstly do it with Allan and support him, and just to complete what I set out to do was the other thing as well. So those two things. And it took me about 3 weeks to actually see any result. And then suddenly I lost a whole chunk of weight, which I was really not expecting, because as I said, I was really healthy, and, I would actually run daily and work out regularly as well. And during that month, I actually exercised less, and just because of timing's sake and different things that were happening. And I just felt amazing. And it was the feeling of amazing, even over the weight loss. I did it for the weight loss, and I say to people, look, honestly, I did it for vanity purposes. I wanted weight loss. However, because I just couldn't figure out why I had these extra kilos. And look, I didn't test body waters or anything like that, but, I did have all these extra kilos that I don't even know was from or whatever it was, but beforehand, and they were gone afterwards, But it was the energy. And I remember coming home for a run about 3 weeks in, and I said to Allan, like, seriously, what's in the shakes? Is it illegal? Is there something? Because I actually don't remember feeling this good. And man, I've done some things with my health over the years. So that was really the kicker, and the reason why, after I actually thought it was the 30-day thing, and the person that enrolled us actually didn't tell us any differently. Allan actually continued on with a few shakes afterwards, and I'm like, no, just 30 days. And I just set my goal to 30 days. And then about a week later, I was like, oh no, I want the shakes. I want the products. I want it all. It's really good. And I didn't realize how much it impacted my life. And, but it's not even that initial period. Actually, what I love most about the products is actually 4 years in, at Christmas time, we went to Europe, and we literally ate ourselves silly. I don't know if you've done this, Rory, since you've been on the program. We did have a shake a day and a few other little bits and pieces, but, we weren't really big on the health. And we did walk a bit, being Europe. But I was shocked to see that if I'd done that any other year prior to having my health in good stead, I would have gained 5 to 10 kilos easily. And we actually came back, and I think, it was really minimal, our body changes and shifts. And I was really surprised actually to how much my body took it on, and I didn't come back feeling yuck even after a month away. That actually, if you look after your body most of the time, you can get away with, having the odd time off or just a little bit. And it's so awesome that I've actually got a system that I literally feel better nearly 40 now than I did in my 20s. So
that's crazy. And I guess for any ladies out there, if you said I exercise less and I just integrated these rituals and this system, I let them do all the hard work and figure out all the sciencey and ancient medicine, all that stuff. And I just had to literally trust the process, and I got that result. I think most people would be like, all right, I'm going to lean in. I'm going to give this a go, especially if they know they can send the boxes back after 30 days. But I think that's a really big key. And then I think the second component is and I'm a testament to this. I travel the world, and it's just having something that I can integrate as I go, no matter what country I'm in, and know that, I've still got the rituals. I still had in the fasting. I'm doing a fast day today, 5 or 6 years down the track. I do it because I love it. Yeah, but I do it because my body feels better, right? No one has to tell me to do it. It's once once my body learnt what makes it feel better, I just keep doing it. The smoothie bowls, like smoothie bowls are all the rave in Bali at the moment, and everyone's doing them. We just happen to have a really cool, no compromise, plant-based or whey-based option, right? Plus all these other high vibration plants. And that's kind of all we do in the essence of the health, right? And then miraculously the body just keeps doing what it does. And then, you know, we can have these holidays and not feel too bad about ourselves if we indulge and enjoy a bit too much healthy moderation, because we can kind of just go with the ebb and flow of our lifestyle and the rituals and keep ourselves in check, right? Is that kind of what it is?
Exactly. And I mean, it's funny, I eat more now than actually what I ever used to. I'm definitely I want to eat, you know, healthier all the time too. I don't feel like eating rubbish either, really, but 100%. I still do. Don't get me wrong. Alan's trying to create abs at the moment, and my daughter decided to make a chocolate cake tonight, and I had some. He didn't. We wanted to see if he could hold strong, and you know, he did well.
Yeah, Alan, how good is that? Now, hey, let's kick on the second part of your journey, because I think a lot of people listen for this, right? You know, as much as we talk about the physical freedom of having a healthy body and a healthy human vessel, food is obviously foundational. It's not complementary. It's not alternative. Like you said, you eat whole foods, you integrate the program, you got a beautiful, supportive community. That's there, and 95% of people do it just for that, right? But now there's this second component, which is what you said happened organically. Like you felt amazing, and you were like you wanted to influence and impact the people around you, and you influence your proximity. And I guess that's where, Isagenix is a networked enterprise, differing from other like enterprises I see in the world. They've kind of set this thing up where 50% of the money that comes into their business goes back to the people, right? So that just means that as you share it, rather than spending the money in marketing, they just, you know, send you a little email saying, "Hey, Larry, thanks for helping Joe and Bob and Sam. And we'd just like to, you know, without you asking for it, put some money in your bank account." Now, you can use that for products, or you can use that to build a business or whatever you want to do, but just thank you, right? And that's kind of unheard of in the 21st century, right?
Totally. Oh, well, I mean, actually probably more and more now, you know, if you're
more and more now.
$5 or something like that. But, you know, it's a huge, actually, it's quite a significant, like you said, 50% going back into the people is a lot more than $5 here and there. So, you know, and that was the thing. We didn't really realize there was that kind of referral available to us. And when we first did it, we're like, wow, that's really decent money.
So what was the first little email you got after you shared it with a couple of people? What was, because like mine was like $600. Like I shared it with 3 friends. You want to do a detox? I got an email saying like, here's close enough to $600 in your bank account. I'm like, for what? For like just doing what I what I was going to do? And I thought it was monopoly money.
That's awesome.
What about yourself?
Well, actually, the first one that we actually got was just the referral for myself, because Allan and I did the program together, and I didn't even see that email. And so the next time we actually introduced, about 3 people. I don't actually know how much that was for, but it'd probably be about 600 as well, right? And it was like, wow, that is actually really decent money for doing what I would do anyway, because I want them to feel really good. So it was a reward, but actually probably, you know what, it was when they started getting the results was one thing too. Like, it feels amazing when they're ringing me saying, you know what, I feel amazing. But even more so than that, some of the messages that I received saying, you know what, I'm just not as cranky as what I used to be. And even my children, my 5-year-old son has noticed and thanked me for kicking the soccer ball around with him outside, because I would never normally do that. Or, you know what, I used to fight with my husband so much. I didn't realize how badly we were fighting, and he's recognized it. And I honestly believe this has saved our marriage. And those kind of messages, Rory, I was just like, man, this is a magical opportunity that we've got at our fingertips here. And even more so, it's funny, you know, you do something for yourself, but how so many people in society, and I'm guilty as well, it's sometimes easier to do something for somebody else. And for those kinds of stories, right? And, you know, you take yourself out of the equation and think of the people that it's actually helping. That's where the magic's at for me.
Yeah, and me too, you know, and like, and this is, again, the reason why I wanted to get you on here, because, you know, I guess in this business and marketing world, you know, a lot of people, you know, like to, we see the Facebook posts all the time. This is how much money I've made, and this is my side hustle that made blah, 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 blah. But let's start with impact, because, you know, how many years have you now been involved partnering with this company that is Isagenix?
So 5 years, and we're now in July. June, July, nearly. So about 7 months, 5 years and 7 months.
Okay, so nearly 6 years, right? Well, 5.5 years. Now over that time, as a result of you guys saying yes, how many people have been collectively impacted in your network? Obviously,
we've got about 24,000 in our downline.
Yeah, that's phenomenal, right? 24,000, like that's really cool. And how many people would you say you've helped personally?
I know that we've enrolled over 700 people.
Wowza.
So we're probably a little higher than the majority of people that actually have built a 6-figure plus income annually with Isogenics. But yeah, that's our numbers anyway. Everybody's different.
Yeah, and that's the thing, isn't it? Because it's like, obviously, you can help people one-to-one, and you can help 700 people by yourself, or one-to-many, you can help people, and obviously that's where you get to help 25,000 people, right? So, and that's crazy, right? Like I think that in itself, the fact you've impacted 700 people, I'm sure those stories, there's a handful that you can think of right now, but I'm sure out of that 25,000, there are 25,000 people that have integrated, just these rituals, let alone, I guess the business side, and other people that have helped, eat for free, or potentially created a business out of it, or paid off a car repayment or a mortgage, or had some self-development by being in a community, or become more conscious about their health. There's so many different forms of value in this space, right?
Totally. The benefits are beyond what you can explain.
So what would you say would be pure honesty? You don't have to answer if you don't want to, but yeah. What would you say is your highest income week, just as a ballpark of what's possible for people?
Actually, it was last November, and I remember exactly where we were when we had $40,000 hit our bank account in one lot. So that was a bonus included for a 1 week. Yeah. So that was our highest week in one hit.
So $40,000 in 1 week. Wow. Yeah. And obviously it's not typical. There's all the income disclosure statements. It's relative to like you said, it started with intention, influence your proximity. You've gone on and over a 5.5 year period, helped 700 people integrate this into their own life. You've then also been part of a ripple effect that's, impacted 25,000, which resulted in that type of thing. So it's not like this get rich quick thing, is it? It's sort of you start for yourself.
And look, we still, it's ebbs and slums, right? It is, we've got low weeks as well. And, which you go the opposite, we drop as well. So it is like any business. Yeah. There's times when things are running really well and times when they're a bit lower. Yeah.
But what's your running cost for this? If we're talking about this for any business-minded people, what are your running costs per year?
Yeah, well, obviously you've got your products, which you do have to pay for monthly, which, you could get away with minimally 200. We spend a bit more than that. But look, and I'd actually say our running costs are a little bit higher than most people, Rory, because we do invest a lot of money back into our people. Yep. Last year we actually took 50 people to Vanuatu on a trip. But we're really fortunate in our company in particular because we do have so many incentives and so many things that the company offers individuals, and a lot of other companies don't, right? But we actually do as a team other ones outside of that. So we do spend a bit on that. And, your costs in relation to events as well, because it is a really key point of building a network marketing business is actually getting your people to events as well. So costs involved there. And, I think it just runs like any business. What you put into it, you tend to get out of it, but you do have to feed it as well. However, much cheaper than what we experience, say, with our eBay business, with a more traditional, although I don't know if you call eBay traditional, but we had low overcosts when it came to that, but we did have $100,000 worth of stock sitting in our garage, right? Yeah. And there is a lot of outlay costs and whatnot as well. So it's pretty phenomenal what you can create off literally your products and your events alone. So it really depends. So, it starts small, and as you grow, you put more percentage. It's basically this percentage amount that you're actually putting back into your business. But it's not, I just want to keep it real for everyone. It's not just products, because you do have to invest in yourself, in learning, in your people, and but it's that's not a lot in comparison to what we've fed traditional businesses in the past. We also had a sports tour company in the past as well, and you know, that being a sales business and not a services, right? So it is, you don't have as much upfront costs either, but you know, we're just so fortunate that our company does so much for us and cuts back a lot of the costs in what we actually have to do as well, which is phenomenal.
So basically, you just eat your products.
Yep.
That keeps your business active, you know, which you're going to
Yep.
do anyway, which it is. You help people naturally. Obviously, if you want to have a bigger influence, you invest in yourself, and all of like we get like with Lisa Nichols, Tony Robbins, like who else we got? Like David Wood, you know, what's Eric Worre.
Man, that one with Lisa Nichols, I did it in America too, and there was Robin Sharma and John Maxwell, and that was the best event, and I think the ticket was $500. I'm like blown away to how cheap that was. It was insane. At Lisa Nichols and Jack Canfield, it was phenomenal.
And this is the thing that like I don't think we communicate enough is like, start with your health, like raise your own vibration, feel good in your own person, do a bit of self-development, impact a couple of people, but you know, then to be in a community where everyone's invested in their own self-development and they want to support and help you, and then the company's subsidizing and getting all these people in and being like, hey man, we just want to get you in front of these people because we know if we help you help more people, then we grow. And it kind of becomes this like circular thing. And then we attract beautiful souls like David Wood and Lisa Nichols and Robin Sharma who understand that kind of abundance mindset, right? And it just keeps circulating and keeps feeding into itself. But how would you explain that to like the everyday person? Because I know we're almost out of time, but how would you explain like what this opportunity is to like the lay person who's just stumbled across this right now?
It is really individual, isn't it, Rory? It depends on what they're looking for. So really, I'd ask them. You know what? I'd really love to throw this back on the question on a question, Rory, because it's never about how I perceive it. It's always about what that person's looking for. And ultimately, if they're not looking for a solution, I don't have anything to tell them. Do you know what I mean? Like you've got to be interested in it. And for some people, it's about the community purely. We honestly don't have enough positive communities out there that people feel comfortable being a part of, and they're missing, right? And mental health is such a big area that I know could be helped so much more with supportive communities. And I know, you know, that's a selling point for a lot of people. I know that growing yourself is a selling point for a lot of people, that, you know, the health is a selling point. It's just so different for every individual. So we really got to understand what everybody needs. And maybe they don't even know until they just lose a bit of weight. And then they start to realize that the journey kind of unfolds for them and what they're really looking for, like it did for me.
And that's a beautiful thing, because Amy just asked, like, did this kind of, you know, evolve organically for you? Because like you said, a question on a question, like you might not have known this opportunity was there. You just started because you wanted to do it with Allan, you started for your own health, but then all of a sudden this opportunity became self-evident over time. So did you find that you built this over the last 5.5 years accidentally, or with the intention to go in and do what you've done?
Originally, it was organic. Like the first couple of people, it was like, oh, well, it's a no-brainer. They need to do the products. They need to do the products. And then when we saw the money, we went, oh, wow, there's really decent money here. Yep. But you know what? I've got no space for another business. And then we actually went to an event where we really saw the vision, and we left the event in action. And at that point, we made a decision to, you know what, we're just going to give it 6 months and see what we can produce. Just to start with 6 months, see what that looks like, see if we can, you know, grow our skills, how it's going to work. And as we got into maybe the first month, we realized, no, actually, it's not a 6 month thing. Really, it's a 5 to 10 year plan. And that's what it's going to look like. And we need to apply ourselves. We need to learn the skills. We need to grow ourselves, and we need to grow others as well. And that was really a bit of a turning point and a realization. And we really did, you know, it was never a business until we actually made the decision to commit that long term to actually make it happen and make it work. And, you know, it was a lot of work as well to get it to that initial stage where we're like, okay, we're getting some decent coin out of this now consistently, that we can focus more on this and less on our jobs. Yep. And then it was like the step from there was to, you know, put it into massive momentum. And it's been a journey. We have not stopped learning the whole time, but we're committed.
Absolutely.
So yeah, that's how it works really. And that's how it's been working for us as well.
That's epic, Larry. And just to finish off, I know you got to shoot off as well, but what would you say from you made a commitment, like, and obviously a lot of us, like, we go between making a decision or not making a decision. We kind of 1 foot in, 1 foot out, 2 foot in, and then, like, we've always got a backup plan. We haven't ever really burnt the boats and said, we're going to commit to this. What would you say for someone who is like, I'm committed, I see the vision, I captured, I've been to an event, the products are amazing, the community is amazing. Where would they start? What would you recommend? How would they build this so they, impact themselves, impact their proximity? How do they create this ripple effect and really get it going for themselves?
Well, I think a lot of people do actually, you're kind of touching on this and what you're saying, they give up too early. And I think in this day and age, we've become like a credit card society where people want things fast. They want results fast. It does not work like that. I find in this business, I might be prospecting someone for the products and like heaps of people and nothing happens. And suddenly, boom, 3 months in, there's a compounding effect where everybody wants to join all in one hit, right? Yeah. And I see it time and time again when people just give up too soon. And so it is about that commitment, definitely. But it is also just about, I think, like we talked about in the beginning there too, intention and, setting intention for yourself, but setting intention for others, and know that it is possible. And I mean, what I love, there's this network marketing stat by, what is his name? I might have to tell you later so you can add it to messages. His name is lost, but he's an amazing network marketer. He's passed away now. However, he did the stats on network marketing companies, and 97% of people that build actively for 10 years, a network marketing company will actually max out the first leg of their compensation plan, which, as you know, for Isogenics is a minimum $750,000 for the year, right?
Yeah, wow.
But the keys there are that you have to be actively building, and so many people quit before they get any momentum, or that, they let life get in the way. And, and it's okay to quit as long as you recommit. I've quit in my head many times over, and it's not and it is, it's an upwards and downwards journey, but just remember when you started that and know that the power is in the longevity and the consistency over time. Because, I mean, 97% is and I think we've got it even easier in Isogenics, just saying, but but it is work, and it's not easy all the time either. It really is. And I've probably had I have had some of my best moments and my hardest moments in network marketing. So there's no delusion there either.
And that's beautiful, because there is pain and pleasure. So, like, it's a yin to the yang. Like, I think, I can appreciate my most happiest moments because, I've been in periods where I have been down in the dumps. I've been dark, you know what I mean? And I think I used to really avoid that. But, something like this has shown me myself from so many different angles. It's empowered me to step up as a leader. It's empowered you to probably do the same, I assume. It's freed your time, which is something we haven't even had a chance to even talk about. Like, talk about $40,000 in a week. What about your time? What would you put a price on that?
Indeed. Oh, look, Rory, we are so grateful. And sometimes I actually forget how hard it was previously. Like getting up at literally 5 a.m., not seeing the kids and not getting them back until 6 p.m. at night, and not, hardly spending any time with them. That's what I ended up doing for a bit there. And, even though I knew I didn't want to do that, that was what was necessary at the time. And you know what, even in building this business, at times I have to make sacrifices, yet we have such good quality time with our girls now. That it wouldn't be possible. And, so much time to do everything that we love to do and live. And it's just not a reality for the majority of people. I'm so incredibly fortunate and grateful that we've got this opportunity.
Yeah. And you keep contributing and giving that forward. And I'm sure that quality time in your kids is going to be intergenerational. They're going to pay it forward to their kids one day, and so on and so forth. So, Lari, I just wanted to really thank you for being on here. And I guess the parting thing would be like, we've only launched into, 18 out of 88 countries or something. I can't even remember the stat anymore, but we've just gone to the UK. And, this was the number one product coming out of Australia with 28 million people. There's 300 plus million people in the UK. Like, what do you foresee for the next 5 or 10 years for people who are helping us having a bigger collective impact now?
Oh, we've literally only just begun, haven't we? It's a bit crazy, the whole thing that we're not in actually that many countries just yet. But imagine as they do open up, that's literally our downlines in the world. And I mean, there's still so much potential in Australia alone, or, in Indonesia alone. It's crazy. think about that to start with, not to mention, you know, the rest of the world. And it's just a matter of helping people see how it can fit them. And, you know, it's not for everybody, but there's definitely a lot of people that actually want what we have, and it would be a shame not to share it, honestly.
That's it, Larry. And just from my heart to yours, I really want to thank you so much for giving up the time. And I know you do this
Not at all. Thank you for having me along board.
time and time again.
See what you're doing and the impact that you're having. Thanks so much, guys. All the people in the background as well.
Yeah, and share some love with Larry if you're watching us live on Facebook. We've just had Amy saying thanks, Larry and Rory. Thanks for your time and your knowledge. You know, just even if you're watching this on the replay, just you know, tag Larry in and say, hey, thanks. There was this little knowledge bomb, or hey, you helped me with this little insight, and let's just keep that love circulating, guys. Peace out. Thank you so much. And Larry,
thanks,
I'll see you.
See ya. Have fun. See ya.
I'll see you when I'm looking at you.
Will do. See ya.
Ciao, ciao.
Bye.